Hi, me again. I just wanted to make a quick video because I had an interesting conversation the other day um, about trans issues and stuff, which started off as kind of like an intellectual debate in the pub and ended up with me kind of like outing myself, and yeah, it was interesting. Um, but yeah, it was a very interesting conversation because it was with somebody who I knew when starting the conversation didn't think that positively of people transitioning. Yeah, just like the whole idea with it. I don't think she's a problem with like transgender people in and of themselves, but she has issues with just the whole idea that people do that. Um, I knew this when I was getting into the conversation. Um, Before I act out really darkly, I say that firstly, this conversation was in the pub. Alcohol was drunk. So it's not going to be verbatim, and it was a very long conversation over a matter of hours. So yeah, this is the keynotes version. Okay, intellectual conversation time. Pop, 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 man, pop. So, I wanted to ask you, how exactly is it you think that trans people are being indulged? I mean, when I said that, I was talking about the series My Transsexual Summer. Um, I just felt the idea of it wasn't challenged enough and seems too reliant on certain ideas of what it means to be male, female, that I think are rather limited. Okay, I can kind of see where you're coming from. I mean, the media seems to be a bit stupid, and uh, they do tend to tell like trans stories in a really kind of gender essentialist way. Kind of, I wanted to play with Barbies and wear dresses, therefore I'm a woman. Which, that's a problem. I agree. But it's also just a stereotype in the same way as, all sorts of people are stereotyped on television. And that doesn't mean that the people themselves are any less valid. Um, and that doesn't mean that the vast majority of people who choose to transition aren't doing it for the right reasons. So, what is the reason? Body doesn't match their gender. So it's a purely physical thing. No, I mean, it partly is, but I mean, it's also a bit kind of disconnect and distress that, like, constantly being recognised as the wrong gender brings. So they want to mutilate their bodies to appear male. Oh, I mean, how is it mutilation when you don't need, want, or feel you're meant to have the body part that you're deciding to get rid of or alter? And like, personally, I don't see my chest as part of me. I like bind every day to appear flat. How could I possibly view like the removal of that burden to be mutilation? Wait, when I said I there, I meant the figurative people in our intellectual debate. Not, me. You meant you. Yeah. Yeah, I meant me. But why can't you just be a masculine woman? Why why feel the need to transition? I wish I could just be a masculine woman. I really do, but I'm not. I have an opinion. Is it not just people that can't handle being gay, like lesbians that want to be straight men? Like, no, gender and sexuality are different. Like, and I mean, people can get them confused. That's possible. Um, like, for a while, I tried to identify like living as kind of a butch lesbian because I thought that being able to present in a more masculine way in a society that kind of accepts that might make my issues, my gender, kind of go away. But like, firstly, that wasn't the case. It just made it more obvious that that's not what I was. And B, I'm attracted to guys, so yeah, the whole, yeah, that was a bit silly, really. Really? I've got to admit, I thought you were a lesbian. Nope. Cool. Well, you can be a somewhat masculine woman and have relationships with men. I mean, I am. I know, and that's great. And yeah, like I've said, you know, it would be so much easier for me and for everybody else if I did feel like, you know, that I was a masculine woman. But I don't. It's something that's difficult to describe. Something that you kind of just know, but I don't know. Probably the best way I can relate this is by asking a question. Just like, I mean, okay, you say, you know, you're a masculine woman, you have relationships, and that's all cool. But I mean, have you ever felt as though your gender wasn't right? No. Well, that's the exact difference. If you don't feel that's a problem, it probably isn't a problem. If you feel comfortable in your identity as a masculine woman, that's great because that's a perfectly valid identity. But it's not one that I identify as. And that's the big difference. And that's why I would see transitioning as an option that would make sense for me. But would it be worth mutilating yourself to change that? Again, I don't think mutilation is the right word for it, but like, anyway, I wouldn't be talking about surgery right away. I'm more talking about, I don't know, get some counselling, something. Being a little more honest about everything. And maybe one day moving towards physical transition. But yeah. Ta-da! Fetching Space Invaders towel. This isn't my accent at all. Because the person playing my role cannot do English accents. Yes. Alright, well, yeah, that was that. It was a conversation. It was, as I said, very interesting, and I don't think either of us really changed our opinions. I'd like to hope I might have given her some stuff to think about, but maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I find the whole thing interesting. I do find these sort of conversations interesting. Intellectual conversation. It's an intellectual conversation. Ah.